see that teams they had really put in a lot of time in doing the preparation work. They come up with a lot of very good ideas and initiatives, and also the presentation materials, the PowerPoints, been presented very well as well, and in the entire presentation actually went very, very smoothly, and with clarity as well. And I'm also very happy to see that, in fact, the English standard of almost every single member of the teams was very, very high and very good. And I'm really appreciate everything. Regarding the other side of it, probably I may have 2 or 3 comments that I would like to make, other than the general quality is very high. The first comment is, in fact, what we have noted is that a lot of teams, they presented from the angle of the company, like, they were employees or officers of a company. But in fact, if you look at the case study carefully and also the requirement, in fact, we are asking for a proposal from a CPA firm, right? Proposal that to enable the CPA firm to win the job, meaning that we have to analyze the problems, the opportunities of the companies, and maybe we have to propose some strategies and telling the company what to do with the view of winning the job. And in particular, we're expected the proposal, you mentioned something like, how good the firm is, what services you provide, and the credential and how the firm would be able to assist the company to implement those strategies. Actually, other than 2 or 3 teams, which were sort of presented from that angle, the other teams, they were very much on, from the company's angle to present to make the presentation. That said, even though there's a sort of a slight different perspective, I would say, because of the presentation information that you have in your overall presentation, still adaptable. So it wouldn't affect too much about your points or scoring in that sense. But still, probably in future, you should really look at the request more carefully. That's number one. Number two, we also noted that, in fact, some of the teams, the team members, were not really sort of working as a team as such. Every single one, you make the presentation very well, reading your scripts and sort of doing your part of it. But when it comes to, say, for example, Q&A sessions, I would normally expect team members would collaborate or at least exchange views and helping each other to answer the questions. But very, very rarely did we see such happening, during the last few hours. And as a result, actually, the Q&A session, some of the teams, they did not really do very well. So that's something that probably, the students may need to sort of look into it. If you ever go into competition again, you are joining the competition as a team rather than as an individual. So that is quite important. And last but not the least, smile. Smile is very important. You get a very good impression or first impression from the judges. So I think
thank you all of your presentation and sharing, in addition for the hard working on your project proposal, and excellent work indeed. I have learned a lot today, and I enjoy it very much. In Chinese, I would say that as 三人行必有我師. I also enjoy it as a student of all of you. Creativity, visionary, passionate, and of course the hardworking make me enjoy a very, very good an enjoyable weekend, especially in particular during the COVID-19 situation. We are all panicked, right? Ideally, forget that we are in the fourth wave of the COVID-19. And at the same time, I would suggest you all, when you prepare your proposal, you may think about from the perspective of practicality. The practical data or the real life data. Some of your proposal is very creative and visionary, but whether those figures are really reflecting the current situation of the market, some of the data you provided to us may not be practicable. That's the one of the way I would suggest you to look at it as well. In the real world, sooner or later, I really look forward to seeing you in the institute again. At that time, you may not be a student again. You may be one of our fellow members or prospective accountants as well. So now, may I wish you all the best, and of course, in particular, to stay healthy. And I will see you all in our QP exam again, right? Okay, all the best and stay healthy.
I want to echo what the President and Vice President just said about all these appreciation of the team's efforts. I need to say that I do not, back when I was still in the university, we do not have this competition. And if I'm going to be joining the competition, I'm not too sure whether I would get to this final stage. Obviously, there are a lot of great efforts that has been done, made in the presentation. I'm particularly impressed by the fact that a lot of you have done a lot of research in doing some sort of like benchmarking, selecting the comparable competitors, and then trying to identify what the issue and problem SML had, and come up with suggestions as to what the solutions are. I'm really impressed with that. And well, one thing that I may want to mention in relation to the benchmarking exercise, sometimes it's actually difficult to get the right comparable, especially when some of those industry analysis are arising from different countries, and also and because the fact that they would have a different type of operating environment, therefore it may not be too comparable when you are actually doing this type of benchmarking exercise. So I want to caution that's point number one. The other is while we were actually formulating plan, I've seen that like some of the plans are like 3 years or like 5 years. Some of them are even coming up with figures in terms of what the financial projection is and things like that. It's difficult for us to relate how all these strategies would actually be materialized and then to come up with those numbers. To some extent, I wouldn't believe that we need to be so aggressive in formulating those financial projections. After all, in this case study, we understand that it's only hypothetical. It is only up to a point that we would be able to strategize, and sometimes I think having those strategies, describing in more details probably is better than having all those projections with all the figures, whereby it's difficult to be verified.
Okay. Congratulations to all teams. No matter finally the result you win or not, actually it is not an easy task for the team to be present on an online model. I'm not the first time to be a judge of the QP case competition. No matter, maybe in the past I will have to judge or to comment the presentations of the student they make online. But it is the first time for me, as again, similar to our students. I am review a case. I'm also online. I'm in Beijing now. So I recognize that your effort in particular, I believe you spend a lot of time and effort in the rehearsal to make the presentation wonderful. And it's really not easy. And I echo with our president regarding the case, because this year I'm one of the case reviewer. So actually we expecting a little bit more between the linkage that between the solutions and the solution proposed and also the service that an CPA firm can be provided. But I would say this is the first year that HKICPA QP case is come from this angle. And say if in the future, I believe we can work better. And I believe it's also a continuous effort for us to improve, no matter or as I would say student to participate in the case competition, or say the working group, and also for the institutes to arrange the competitions. And finally, thank you very much.
Future of the HKICPA. No matter what the result would be, I believe that this is a very successful milestone for all of you at this stage. I hope you all every success in the coming future. Thank you.